Something that's come to my attention recently is that in every video I've made about Miguel so far, he's lost. And well, today's gonna be no different, but I promise that this is the last negative video I make about Miguel for a while, so you can look forward to the boy getting some W's in my next few videos. But as for today's topic, it's gonna be Season 3 Robby versus Season 2 Miguel. Now this is a very popular and heavily debated topic, as while Miguel defeated Robby in Season 2, it was a very close fight. And in Season 3, Robby didn't do a whole lot of training, but still evolved his fighting ability by applying his Miyagi-Do moves offensively, which is what makes this topic intriguing to many in the community. And the common consensus seems to be that this fight could go either way, or that it would be very close to whoever wins. However, I strongly disagree. Not only do I think Robby wins, I think he would absolutely violate Season 2 Miguel, and this video will go into depth to explain why, by analyzing their strength, durability, skills, feats, and scaling. When comparing strength and durability, as the starting point we first had to go back to Miguel and Robby's fight in Season 2 in order to connect it to Season 3. While Miguel definitely held the advantage in skill, Robby was clearly the physically stronger fighter, as he was seen pretty much launching Miguel into the lockers several times, as well as pinning him to a pillar and later on completely overpowered him. However, while this difference in strength was clearly noticeable, like many fighters in the same season, this difference was not significant enough to really affect the outcome. This is where Season 3 comes in, as when Robby first enters Juvie, he was still on the same level physically as he was in Season 2 when he fought Miguel. And later on when he faces off against Sean for the first time, we see that he is not only stronger than Robby, but he's levels above physically, as he made Robby scream in pain from his punches, and what makes this even more apparent is that Sean was holding back, as he told Robby that this was only a warm-up before delivering a final punch that had Robby reeling over in immense pain. Sometime later, he gets a visit from Kreese, who advises Robby to strike first, which results in him and Sean having a rematch later on. But what I want to mainly focus on is that this time around Sean was not holding back, and yet Robby was able to not only stagger Sean with his kicks, but he was also able to withstand all of his attacks without showing signs of pain, which is a massive improvement compared to his physical performance during their first fight. Of course, while Robby at this point wasn't physically stronger than Sean, he should still scale very relative to him. Essentially what this means is that Robby is now levels above Season 2 Miguel in strength and durability, to the point where it would make a significant difference, as seen with Sean and Robby, only to a much higher extent. By far the biggest misconception in this topic is that Robby either got rusty or he didn't improve his skills at all. Considering that Robby remembered the codes to the trade and lot at Lewis Order from the brief time he worked there in Season 1, as well as the fact that there's no direct statement or indication of his skills becoming worse, Robby definitely didn't get rusty. As for his skills, he was the first student to utilize both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, as he was able to adapt and apply his Miyagi-Do moves aggressively by striking first, a philosophy taught in Cobra Kai, which he applied after Kreese visited him in Juvie. While it was a brief time during Season 3, Robby also trained with Kreese after being released from Juvie, thus having a greater range of versatility, becoming the first fighter in the series to combine both styles. To Miguel's credit, he was able to take on an aggressive Robby during the end of their fight in Season 2, however the difference is that Robby in Season 3 has adopted Cobra Kai's philosophy and has learned to channel his anger as he was taught by Kreese to not be his own worst enemy. Therefore, while I agree that their skill level is close, considering how evenly matched they were during their fight in Season 2, Robby's newfound versatility, as well as his extra training, gives him the edge in skill over Miguel. The difference in physical strength between Robby and Miguel in Season 2 was already quite noticeable, and during Season 3, Robby was able to exceed to new heights in strength and durability as he evolved during his fights with Sean and Juvie. This gap in physical ability alone gives Robby a huge advantage in this fight. The closest relevant factor between them is skill, as while Miguel defeated Robby in Season 2, it was extremely close, and in Season 3, with Robby adapting Cobra Kai's philosophy to his style, as well as his extra training with Kreese, it can be debated on who's more skilled. But I personally believe that Robby's versatility, as well as his extra training, gives him the edge. However, regardless of who you believe is more skilled, the fact is that the difference would be much closer than it was in Season 2, in which their skill level was already very close anyways. As a result, the deciding factor would ultimately come down to the difference in their physical abilities, which would easily go to Robby. While their skills may be close, Robby's raw physical strength would enable him to completely overpower Miguel, and any attacks Miguel might land would have minimal impact, as he does not possess nearly the same level of strength as Sean, which is what it would take to actually make this fight competitive. Therefore, Robby wins.